Hello guys, welcome back to ServiceNow with Kalyan. So in our last video, we gone through the client-side API basics. We gone through what are the APIs we will be using on the client side, like glide form, glide user, and also some of the functions we covered, right? So, like get value, set value, form message, add error message. So many functions we covered, and also we gone through glide ajax and g underscore scratch pad, and we gone through the some use cases, and also I have shared that particular file what we discussed in our last video. I have posted that file in my WhatsApp group. If you want that file, please join my WhatsApp group, and you can find the file there. And coming to the today's video, we will be discussing about our first client side concept called UI policies. So what generally UI policies are? So what is UI policy? So UI policy, like UI policies runs on the client's web browser, without using any script. We can perform few operations by using without using any scripts. We can perform few operations by using UI policies on the form. Operations are making all these operations will applicable on the fields which are on the form. So um, making field read only, making field read only are editable, are mandatory, are not mandatory, are visible, or hidden. So basically, what we will be doing with UI policies means we will be doing some operations like maybe making a field mandatory, or making a field not mandatory, or making a field read only or editable, or maybe a field making a field visible or maybe hidden. So for performing these operations, we don't require any script, so we can perform these operations by using UI policies. We don't need to write a single line of script also. So uh, I will give the use cases. I have a bunch of use cases to show you. So I will show you like in how I like in which way we will use this, or we can use these UI policies to perform some changes on the form. Like so coming to the next concept, that is catalog UI policy. What is this? What is catalog UI policy? Why I'm covering this means in this video, when we go through catalog items, there also we will be having UI policies, but they are separate. They are segregated actually. By using UI policy, by using normal UI policy, you can apply, you can create UI policies on any table. When it comes to catalog items, to apply UI policies on the catalog item level, we have a separate concept called catalog UI policy. So these are these uh, these policies are catalog item specific. Catalog item specific. Okay, the functionality is same. Whatever the operations we are performing by using normal UI policy, we can do the same with catalog UI policy. So let's go to the instance, and we will try to explore the UI policy form, new record form. Let's go into the instance. So To open UI policies in the filter navigator, you just need to type UI space policies. Okay, if you after typing that under system UI, we will find UI policies. So open it. To create a new UI policy, as all we know, there will be a new button, like not a UI policy. To create any record in ServiceNow in any table, we will be having a new button. So just click on new. It will open a empty UI policy form. So if you see, this is a new record of UI policy. So if we see we have some fields here. Let's talk about these fields. What these fields are exactly. This is the table. Like here, we need to select the table name. What it do means, after selecting the table name, whatever the UI policy you are creating, that particular UI policy will be applying to that particular table. So let's say you are creating a UI policy on incident. Okay. So at that time, the table name will be incident. You will be selecting incident as the table name. Let's say it is problem, you will be selecting problem, vice versa, and so on. So on coming to the application. So by default it is global. So whatever the policy you are creating, that will be a global UI policy. Let's say you need to create a UI policy on a particular a specific application scope. Then you need to change the application in the update set picker here. Like in the globe we have, right, application scope and update set. So here you need to change the application scope. So if you change the application scope here, and you can refresh the page automatically, the application will get set here. And next coming to the active checkbox. So this means, if it is checked, that means the UI policy is active. If it is unchecked, it is the UI policy is inactive. Coming to the short description. So just to give the description for the UI policy, let's say like whenever categories whenever on the form for a particular field called category. So whenever the category field is selected as a network, at that time I want to make the configuration item as mandatory. This is the requirement, let's say. So according to the requirement, set the short description according to your understanding. And coming to the order, so in which order this UI policy will run. So let's say why this order will be useful means, let's say on incident we have 10 UI policies for different requirements. So in this particular case, if you provide the order, you can provide the order like your UI policies, when your UI policy should trigger. Let's say we have 10, right? So if you give the lowest prior order, then your UI policy will execute first whenever a form is loaded, whenever an incident form is loaded. So for that you can use this order. And coming to the when to apply section. So here if you see, we have a field called conditions. So here you will be adding conditions. So to add conditions, first you need to select the table, then only it shows the condition builder. So let's say I will select incident for just demonstrating the field. So I see I have started the incident. Now the conditional builder is visible now. So if you see choose field, what are the fields here means, whatever the fields which are available on the incident form, all those fields will get reflect here. So let's say I want to select category, so I will select category. Okay, let's say category is software. Okay, so this will be your triggering condition for this particular UI policy, whatever the condition you are setting here. So if you set this condition and you will save this so whatever the triggering conditions, you need to set under this conditional UI builder. So to make visible that conditional builder, first you need to select the table. So put in that mind. So and coming to the next thing, global. So what it is, uh, like we have a help test here. If selected, the UI policy applies to for all form views. Otherwise, the UI policy is view specific. So that means, let's say you have created a UI policy on incident. So uh, if you uncheck this, automatically it will show you one it will visible one field called view. So let's say you want to apply this UI policy particularly to a specific form view. Let's say I want to apply this UI policy to the incident default view. So in that case, I can give the view name explicitly. Let's say I don't want to apply the UI policy to a particular view, I want to apply to all the views. In that case, just check global. That is the difference between global check and uncheck. Okay, and coming to the onload. So what it is means, apply the UI policy actions when the form is loaded and when the user changes values on the form. So whenever the like onload means this UI policy needs to be triggered whenever the form is loaded. That is that. So if you uncheck it, it won't trigger. If it won't trigger this UI policy automatically. Uh, so that is used for onload. And coming to the reverse if false, like what it is, reverse the effects of the UI policy actions when the condition evaluated false. Let's say why it is useful means by default it will be checked. Let's say you have created a policy UI policy saying categories software. Let's say on the form you have selected categories network instead of categories software. At that time this UI policy won't work. uh, at first you selected categories software, this UI policy will apply to the form. Again you have updated the categories to network. At that time we have reverse if false is checked, right? Automatically the actions will be reverted back. So to make that negative case, like let's say it's like a if else statement. If it is run this, else it is run this. So if condition met, apply this. If not, just revert back. That's it. So I'm coming to the inherit tables that extend specified table inherit this UI policy. Let's say you have extended a incident table while creating a custom table. Okay, so at that time if you check this inherit checkbox, what happens means whatever the UI policies you have created on the incident table, those UI policies will get inherited to the custom table also. Whatever the table you created by extending the incident table. So this is the form exploration, and we have one more section here called script. We can write scripts also in UI policy, like whatever the uh, APIs we discussed in our last video, we can use them and we can write the scripts also. But my recommendation is if you are writing some scripts on the UI policy, don't go with UI policy. Go with client script, because client script is specifically for doing some complex calculations or computations on the form level. So you can use client script instead of UI policy. So don't need to never go for UI policy when we are writing some script. UI policies are very easy to configure without writing any script by using this when to apply section only. So let's go ahead and create some UI policies in the system. So I have some scenarios here. So let's say for the incident table, this is only one condition. I'm applying only one condition. So whenever category is hardware, I need to make the configuration item field as mandatory. So let's create this UI policy. uh, the table is incident. I'll select the requirement or use case. I will paste that in the chat description. So when category is hardware, make configuration item mandatory. So when category is hardware, that means this is our trigger condition, correct? So where we need to set this under our conditional builder. So category is hardware, correct? So if category is hardware, what we need to do to create the UI policy actions, like whenever this UI policy is triggered, some actions need to be performed on the form. So that actions are called UI policy actions. To create them, first we need to save this UI policy. So I'm just right clicking on the header and clicking on save. Once you save the UI policy, it will bring a related list under this called UI policy actions. So if you see here, we have a related list now called UI policy actions. So here what we need to do, we need to create the action. What action need to take whenever this trigger condition is met? What action need to take? I need to make the configuration item to mandatory, correct? So I will be creating that action now. I will click on new. So if you see, the table is incident and the field name is what's the field name? It is configuration item, correct? So where it is, yeah, this is configuration item. So I have started the field name, and if you see here, we have three operations: mandatory, visible, read only. These are all boolean values. So I want to make this configuration item to mandatory. That means if you click on mandatory drop down, you will be having three values. One is leave alone, true or false. So if it is true, it will become mandatory. If it is false, it will become not mandatory. Leave alone means it won't do anything. So for this particular case, I need to make the configuration item mandatory, correct? So I am just making it a true, and that's it. So I am just hitting submit. It will redirect back to the UI policy now because the last page I visited, right? So our UI policy is set now. Let's test this. So I'm just opening incident form, incident dot form opens a new form. Okay, so if you see, what is our category? Category is hardware, right? So let's select hardware. So if you see, if you selected category is hardware, configuration item is mandatory now. Let's say I will select software. It will become not mandatory. This is called reverse if false. So whenever that particular condition is not met, automatically the actions will get reverted. Whatever the actions applied before. So if I select hardware again, it will make the configuration mandatory. If I select something other than hardware, it will revert the action. So like this, this is the first UI policy we created now. Let's go ahead and create the second one. So I have some single condition UI policies and some multiple condition UI policies with and or R. So I will show you all this, and I have many other UI policies use cases for incident problem change. So I will be sharing this particular file in my WhatsApp group. So join my group and you will get this file and you can practice after watching this video. So let's go ahead and create the second use case. So whenever assignment group is network, I want assign it to be mandatory. So let's go ahead and create it. So again, I need to go to. I will keep the form opened. So I will go ahead and search for UI policies again. So under system UI policy, system policies, selected UI policies, and just click on new again. So I will copy the use case. So I'm just pasting in the chat description. Which table we are applying it? We are applying on incident. So I'm selecting incident table. So what is the condition? When assign it to, 1 second, I think the use case is not properly copied. Okay, I think it's typo. When assignment group is network. Okay, assignment group is network. Okay, make assign it to mandatory. Okay, so I will be adding the triggering condition now in the conditional builder. Assignment group, checking for looking for assignment group. I found it, and I am just giving the group name network, right? So selected it. So I'm just to bring that UI actions related list. First, you need to save the UI policy. So after saving it, you will get the UI actions, UI policy actions related list. So for creating the action, just click on new and I need to make the assign it to mandatory, correct? So where is assigned to? This is assigned to. Selected the field and making mandatory to true. Okay, just hitting submit and let's change test this. It's working or not on the form. I'm just refreshing the incident form once again. It's the new form. So I will select network now in the assignment group. So whenever I select the network group, the assignment is become mandatory now. So let's say I will select software. Okay, it is becoming not mandatory. This is why it's happening means we check that reverts if false condition checkbox to true, right? That's why it's reverting the changes whenever the condition is not met. Okay, so this is the second use case with single condition. Let's create two UA policies for incident only with multiple conditions. Let's say if category is hardware or category is software, then subcategory should be hidden. So let's create one more. So if you see, we have a field called subcategory here. So I will be hiding that subcategory based on some conditions now. So I will copy the use case. So subcategory for hardware or software incidents, correct? So copying and pasting in the chat description, giving incident as the table name. I'm going to the conditional builder now. Category category is software or hardware, right? So if you see, we have operations here and R. So we are adding applying R condition. So just click on R. Automatically it will bring one more. Category is uh, hardware. So you done with your conditional builder. Just save the UI policy. So once you save the UI policy, you will get the related list to create the actions. So what is our action? I need to hide the subcategory field whenever this condition is met. So I'm just clicking on new. So I will be looking for a subcategory field where it is or yes. So this is the subcategory field. So I selected it. I want to hide that field. So hiding will be visible, right? If visible is true, it will be visible on the form. If it is false, it will be hidden on the form. So I'm just making visible to false. So just hit on submit. So once done, we'll test this right away. So yeah, I'm just refreshing the form to apply that newly created UI policy changes. So let's see if currently the category is inquiry or help. So subcategory is there. Let's say I will put what are the things? Category is software or hardware, right? So let's select software. If you see software I selected, subcategory is hidden now. Let's say I select network. It will be visible now. Let's say I will select hardware. It will be hidden now. So whenever the condition met, it will hidden. If the condition is not met, it will be visible. Okay, let's go ahead and create the other one. What is the other one? It is and whenever category is hardware and impact is high, subcategory should be visible. Okay, so let's create a new one. So I'm just clicking on new. I will copy the use case. Okay, for which table? It's incident. So I'm selecting the table incident and coming to the conditional builder subcategory. So subcategory only for high impacted hardware incidents. So that means category is hardware and impact is high. So let's select the category. This is the and condition. Before we did for R, and this is for categories hardware and impact is high. So what R and define and R and R differentiates means. So if it is and, both conditions should met. If it is R, any one condition is met, automatically the action will apply. So it is and, so both conditions should be met on the form. So let's save the UI policy and we'll create the action now. What the action is, category should be visible, correct? Subcategory should be visible. Visible only, right? Yeah, visible. So I have submitted the action. Let's go ahead and see. So currently the subcategory is visible now. Let's say um, category is hardware and impact is high. So if you see, if it is category hardware and impact is high, the subcategory is getting visible now. So it's working, correct? So let's go ahead and create the other use cases for problem and change. We are done with incident. We have the next use case is on problem. So this is a multiple condition UI policy. Assignment group is network and category is network. Configuration item should be mandatory. Okay. Let's go to problem. Before that, I will make this UI policy as my favorite. How to add the favorite? Beside UI policies, we have a star, right? So if you click on it, it will add this UI policy as a favorite under favorites list. If you see, yeah, it's added, right? So let's open problem. So how to open problem new record form problem dot in capital letters form. Okay, just hit enter. It will open the problem form automatically, a new form. So what is the use case? Making configuration a matter mandatory for network problems assigned to network, correct? So I'm just copying the pasting the chart description, and now the table is problem because we are creating this particular view policy for problem. So after that you got the conditional builder now. So what is this assignment group? Should be network and category should be network. Okay. So you have set the conditions now. Just save the UI policy and we'll create the action now. What we need to do? We need to make the configuration item mandatory. So let's go here and search for the configuration item field. Yeah, I selected the configuration item field and I'm just making mandatory to true. Okay, let's see. Let's go into the problem. So if you see currently the configuration item is not mandatory on the form. So let's refresh the page again. So if you set category as network and assignment group as network, if you see the configuration item become mandatory. Let's say if you selected category as software, it won't it won't make the configuration item mandatory. If it is hardware, it is network, then only it will make. Okay, that's it. We are done with this particular use case, and let's go with change because already we did and right. So if you want, I can make it R also. So this is R, right? So whenever category is hardware or category is network, configuration item should be visible. This is already visible. Let's do for hidden. Uh, let's do for hidden. Okay. So I'm just hiding the configuration item whenever categories. Let's create a new UI policy for that. So I'm just pasting. I'm just hiding configuration item for hardware or network related category problems. So set in the table again problem and category is hardware or category is network. So for this particular thing conditions, I want to make the configuration item field hidden. So I will create the UI action, UI policy action now. Selecting the configuration item field and making the field hidden. That means visible to false. Just submitting the form and we'll refresh the page, problem page. So let's select the category. If I select, it's still saving. Okay. Yeah. If it is hardware or network, it should hidden. Let's select software. If you see, the configuration item is still there. So let's select hardware. It is hidden, right? Let's select database. It will visible again. So like this. So we are done with this use case also. We have three use cases on change. Uh, Three are similar. I'll make I will create two now, and remaining you can practice on yourselves. So let's create the eighth one. That is whenever type is emergency and risk is high, backup plan should be mandatory. So let's go ahead and create UI policies on change. Okay. For creating a change, first you need to search for change in the navigator. Under change, you will find create new. So under create new, if you click on that, it will open a interceptor. Actually, this is a interceptor. It will be having all changes like emergency, normal, and these are all the standard changes. So currently our UI policy should be for emergency changes. So I'm just clicking emergency change. So yeah, if you see the type is emergency now. So let's open the UI policy. So click on new. I'll yeah already copied, right. So I'm just pasting this description for high risk emergency changes. Make backup plan mandatory. And what the table is change underscore request. So this is the change request table. So you can find the table name in the URL. That's not a problem. If you see here, change request. So and what's the conditions for high risk emergency changes? So change should be emergency. So where the emergency type of change will store in type field. So type is emergency and risk. If risk is high, if risk is high, make the backup plan field mandatory. So to add that action, first we need to save the UI policy. So we saved it, and now I am creating the UI policy action. So which field I need to make mandatory backup plan. So this is the backup plan. I selected it and I'm just mandatory to true and just hitting submit. Okay, done. Yeah, it's saved now. Let's go ahead and test this on this emergency emergency change form. So yeah, it's your policy is saved now. I'm just refreshing the page again once more. So what it is, category is sorry, one second. What is this? Type is emergency and risk is high. So already the type is emergency. Let's say the risk is high. If you see here, you have selected the risk is high. So backup plan became mandatory. Let's say if risk is moderate, so it is not mandatory. Likewise. So we are done with this use case too. Let's go ahead and create the last use case. If type is emergency and impact is high, then implementation plan should be mandatory. Same, one change, one different condition actually. So we'll create this one also. I'm just closing the tabs, uh, opening the UI policy again, clicking on new. So this is also a and condition. So for type emergency and if impact is high, making the implementation plan to mandatory. So change underscore request, selected that, and type should be emergency, and impact is high. Impact is high. Well, in this case, our implementation plan field should be mandatory. So to add that UI policy action, first we need to save the UI policy. I did that. So let's click on new for creating that UI policy action. So I'm searching for that field implementation plan. Where it is. Yeah, this is the field. I selected it and I'm just making the mandatory to true. That's it. Hit submit. Yeah, done. Let's test this. Just reloading the form once again. Yeah, done. So if you see our type is emergency, just we need to set the impact to high. If you set the impact to high, the implementation field become mandatory now. Let's say if you put it as medium, it is again not mandatory. If you put high again, it will become mandatory. So like this. So let's say you have created a UI policy now. You want to apply this particular UI policy. You want to convert this UI policy as a data policy. You can simply you don't need to create a data policy again. You can there will be a related link under every UI policy. If that UI policy is not yet created as not yet created into a data policy. So currently this UI policy we created just now, but we didn't created any similar data policy. So we have the related link now to convert this UI policy into data policy. If you click on it, this related link automatically data policy will create by the create automatically system will create the data policy similar data policy. So you can transform that and we have some more use cases here. You can practice them on your own. Those are all self-explanatory. So that's all for this video. If you like this video, please hit a like and drop a comment. And if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do subscribe, and it will give some motivation to do more videos in the future. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.